Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ibrahim, today we are just going to study the periodic table. If
Okay.
you are going to understand the topic of periodic table, basically this is not the topic, this is not the unit. This is the basic and core idea of the basic chemistry.
Okay.
When I'm just going to teach periodic table to my students, it's my one of the usual statement. If you are able to understand the concepts, the basic concepts and idea of periodic table, it means you are just going to connect the basic concept of chemistry to the advanced concepts of chemistry. So I'm just going to share my screen here. Basically the periodic table, when you talk about the periodic table, this is the periodic table. The basic structure of the periodic table you can see here, that one, that this one. I'm just trying my level best to show you the basic core idea of the periodic table. This is basically what this is basic periodic table. Why it is called periodic table? Why it is called periodic table? Because this table keeps the horizontal and vertical rows. These horizontal rows, when you talk about the horizontal rows from left hand side to right hand side, they are moving from left to right side. You may see here these rows are called periods. First of all, you need to understand one more thing here. When you are just going to study the topic of periodic table, our modern periodic table, just write down the things. The modern periodic table is organized on the basis of increasing order of the atomic means proton number of the elements. This is the basic thing that you need to understand. This is also called periodic law. This is also called periodic law. Okay, what is the periodic law or principle? On which basis you can say that this is also called the periodic law. And why it is called periodic law? Because this belongs to periodic table. So my dear student, when you talk about the periodic table is organized, and this is based on increasing order of the protonic number or atomic number. Before the periodic table that were organized, these periodic table were basically based on nucleon or mass number, but the new periodic table, it is totally based on what? Increasing order of the periodic number. Let's suppose if I'm moving from left hand side to right hand side or from top to bottom, the number of the proton will be increased. Like in your book, look at here, the atomic number or the proton number of hydrogen. If I'm moving from left hand side to right hand side, the atomic number of hydrogen, that is 1. Then helium 2, lithium 3, beryllium 4, boron 5, carbon 6, nitrogen 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, neon 10, sodium 11, magnesium 12, aluminium 13. So you can see that there is a pattern which is increasing from left hand side to right hand side. The same thing from top to bottom. Hydrogen 1, lithium is what? Lithium 3, sodium 11. So from top to bottom, the periodic table uh, keeps the elements which atomic number or protonic number is also increasing. I'm moving back to my screen here. The next thing that you need to understand, this periodic table keeps different kind of properties. It keeps different kind of horizontal rows. The horizontal rows from left hand side to right hand side from left hand side to right hand side from left hand side to right hand side, there is one of the particular name, specific name of these horizontal rows. These are called periods of periodic table. Periods of periodic table. Now I'm just going to organize how can you say that, and there are 7 horizontal rows. There are 7 horizontal rows. So we have 7 periods in this periodic table. How can you say there are 7 periods? Now I'm moving towards this periodic table. This is period number 1, this is period number 2, this is period number 3. So I'm moving from period number 1 to period number 3 in this periodic table. This is period number 1. This is period number 1 and this is period number 2. And this is period number 3. So we have basically 3 periods. Now I'm just going to draw the structure like this. This one, like this one. So you can say that, sir, there are 2 periods. Where is the 3rd period? Basically these are the period number 2 and period number 3. What about the first period? Basically this is the first period that I'm going to draw here. The first period keeps the 2 elements, this one and this one. Now these are what? These are the 2 periods, and these elements, they keep different kind of substances, like the first element of the periodic table, that is hydrogen, the second one helium. Now we have 7 periods. Now this is period number 1, this is period number 2, this is period number 3. What about period number 4? Period number 4, period number 5, period number 6, and period number 7. The most simplified way, what I'm going to do, I'm just to save my time, I'm just putting that thing here, and just I'm going to draw the structure on my this screen. It will be much easier to identify the substances here. Okay, now we have 7 different periods, but how can you say that we have 7 periods? Now my dear student, just focus here. The first period, it keeps hydrogen and helium. I'm moving from left hand side to right hand side. The second period, that keep the lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. So the most important thing that you need to understand here, when we are moving from left hand side to right hand side, what can you do? Just find out that how many elements we have in the first period. In the first period we have only 2 elements. The first one is hydrogen, and the second one is helium. Got it? Is that clear? Achha. Now we are moving again. The second period. Now tell me, how many elements are there in the second period?
In the second one there is 8 elements.
8 elements? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is lithium, second beryllium, 4 boron,
Yes.
carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 8 elements. That's good. We have basically 8 elements. You are absolutely right. Now we have 8 elements. Okay, now the third one. Now tell me, what is the structure of the third one? I'm moving from this side to this side. Okay, I'm just okay. Now tell me, the third period. The third period.
The horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal.
The horizontal ones are periods, and the vertical ones are.
No. I'm just talking about only horizontal now.
Oh.
Only horizontal. Now, that one.
Well, that's 8 elements.
That elements 8. Very good. You are absolutely right. 8 elements. Now, the second one, that keep also 8 elements. Now you got the idea. Now I'm just talking about, and I'm not writing here now, but I will just talk to you how many elements are there, and you will tell to me. You will tell to me how many elements are there. Very good. Now fourth one. Now tell me the fourth period, which is starting from the potassium. That one, potassium.
Okay, 18 elements.
18 elements. How can you say that? So we are just going to calculate. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, that's good. Means the 8 elements, and among these elements there are orange colored 10 elements. Now tell me, how many elements are found in the fifth one?
18 as well.
18 as well. Okay, now the sixth one?
17.
17? Are you sure? 17? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Now let's start counting. That one? 1,
1,
2,
2,
3, 4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
8, 9, 10, 11,
11,
12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17.
7. Yes.
No, you are wrong. Now what about these? These are also the part of 6th and 7th period. 17. Now Continue counting. 18, 19,
18, 19,
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And our periodic
oh,
table is completed now. The seventh element, it is has been completed, and it keeps also 32 elements. So just calculate how many elements we have. Now the 2 in the first one, then the 8, then add 16, 16, then 18. Okay,
yes,
then 18,
34,
and then
34
32,
plus
32.
18, 52, 52 plus 64, 116, I think.
Okay, that's good. Now I'm also opening my periodic table book from my reference books. Yes, that one. Okay. And we will study all these things in detail, inshallah. Say inshallah. Yes,
Inshallah.
inshallah. Basically, there are 116 elements. Okay, and you are absolutely right. Now, what we are going to do, these 116 elements. Now, just focus on these things. We are moving from left hand side to right hand side. I'm just choosing the period number 2 because it keeps a mixture of the substances. Now tell me, that is lithium metal or non-metal? Is it metal?
Lithium is metal.
Beryllium?
Metal.
Okay. Like sodium?
Metal.
Magnesium?
Metal.
Aluminium?
Metal.
Silicon? It's metalloid.
Metal.
Metalloid.
Metalloid.
It means this is
Metalloid.
poor metal. Okay, phosphorus.
It's a gas.
It's a non-metal.
Sorry, non-metal. Sorry,
Sulfur? Non-metal.
non-metal.
Chlorine?
Yes,
Non-metal.
non-metal.
Argon? Non-metal.
Non-metal.
Now the same thing. Potassium, calcium, and these things, they are all metal. Now, and these are what? These are non-metal. Now, what is the
Yeah.
basic concept of this observation? Just compile that information according to your condition. I'm just going to remove these things because I need to write some more things that are very, very, very important. Okay. So, we have 7 horizontal rows, 7 periods, and the first period keep the 2 elements, the second one 8, the third one 8, the fourth one 18, the fifth one 18, the 16 and 17 that keep 32 and 32 elements. So we have 116 now. Now the most important thing, when you are moving from left hand side to right hand side, what you have observed, when we are moving from left hand side to right hand side, the metallic properties are going to decrease and non-metallic properties are going to increase. Got it?
Yes.
Across the period, from left hand side to right hand side. I'm talking about from left hand side to right hand side. Metallic properties are going to decrease and non-metallic properties are going to increase. The most important thing. Have you noticed one more thing? Have you noticed one more thing that I'm going to show you here? The first period keeps two elements, hydrogen and helium. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now tell me how many electrons are found in hydrogen. What is the structure of hydrogen? That
Just
hydrogen?
one element.
Yes, it keeps only one electron. Hydrogen keep only one electron. So I'm going to draw the structure of hydrogen, the electronic structure. Okay, I'm just going to draw the electronic structure of hydrogen. That is electronic structure of hydrogen here. This is the shell of hydrogen, and it keeps one electron, and we know that in the hydrogen, this is what, this is the nucleus. Okay, I'm not going to draw the nucleus, I'm just going to draw the shells. Okay, there is only one electron. So what does it mean? It means it has
There'll be one electron.
one electron, but how many shells? The one electron
One
will
shell.
be shifted in one shell, only one shell. This is the structure of hydrogen. Now what about helium? Helium, the second element of the first period, helium, it keeps the two electrons. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, now tell me how many shells are there?
One shell, but with two electrons.
Yes, definitely right. So it keeps the one shell having the two electrons. The one shell having the two electrons. Okay. Now give me the example of lithium. Lithium is found on the second shell. Lithium is found on the
Three electrons.
three electrons. So how many shells are there?
One shell, one
Ah,
pair, and one
okay.
electron.
Means the total number of shell?
One shell.
One shell? Okay. Now I'm going to Shukr, Alhamdulillah. I was sneezing. Oh, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. So, helium keeps the three electron, but when we are just going to organize the electrons, as we know that how many electrons are there?
We say, why are there two shells? Shouldn't there be only one shell?
No.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, three.
There are three electrons. So what
Yeah,
does it mean?
I understand.
So what
Two
does
in
it
the
mean?
first shell and one in the third shell. One in the
Yes.
second shell.
So it means it keeps the two shell. So the simplified way, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to removing just these things, just to save the time. One electron means it will keep only one shell. So you got my idea. Now helium, it keeps the two electron, and two electron, they are organized in one shell. Lithium keeps the three electron. Lithium has three electrons. So we know that the three electron means it keeps the two shells. It keeps two shells. Why it keeping two shell? Why it is keeping two shell? The first shell keep the two electron, and the second one shell keep the one electron. Am I right? Now, then I'm just talking about sodium. How many electrons are found in sodium? Sodium, 11 electrons. Okay.
Oh,
Sodium
yeah.
keeps the 11 electrons. That's why its number
Yes.
is 11. So
Yes.
11 electron. I'm just writing their quantity of the shell. The first shell keeps the two electron. I'm just organizing their electrons. The second one keeps what? How many electrons? 8 electrons. And the third one keep.
One electron.
So how many shells are there? There are only
Three
three
shells.
shells. Very good. So I'm just going to highlighting one more thing, that is nitrogen. Nitrogen atom keeps how many electrons? 7 electrons.
17.
7 electrons.
Seven.
Okay, 7 electrons. Now organize these electrons. Okay, the first shell keeps the 2 electron, the second one keeps the
Yeah,
5
and
electron. So
um,
how many shells are there?
two shells.
2 shells. Okay, that's good. Now my dear student, the thing that I'm going to elaborate here, I have randomly chosen the different kind of elements here. Okay, and we have found different quantity of shell. Now moving towards where the periodic table. I have chosen hydrogen and helium. They keep one shell. And then what is the number of period? They are found in period number 1. I have chosen
Yes.
lithium. Lithium keeps the 2 shells and it is found in period number 2. I have chosen
Oh,
sodium. It keeps 3 shells and what is the number of period? Period
three.
number 3. I have chosen nitrogen. It keeps the 2 shells. Okay? Because
Sure.
now it is keeping the 2 shells. Now 7 electrons. First shell keep the 2 electrons, the second one 5. 2 shells. Now
Oh,
I'm moving again nitrogen. This is nitrogen. Now move. What is the period number of nitrogen? 2.
three.
2.
Oh, yeah. Three.
2.
Two, sorry, two.
Okay.
Two.
So one more thing that we have found. One more thing that we have found. I'm just removing these points here. Okay. Period number. Period number shows the total shell number. So the period number also show the total shells number. Got it? Now this is the point
Yeah.
that you must keep in your mind. If we are just going to discuss the periodic table, it means we are just going to discuss the periods. The periods are what? These are the horizontal rows and they are moving from left hand side to right hand side. There are 7 different periods. They have different kind of quantity of the substances. The first period keep the 2 elements, the second keep the 8 elements. I'm going to write it here. The first period, the period number first, the first period, it keeps the 2 elements, hydrogen and nitrogen. The second keep the 8 elements, and the second and third, second and third period keeps what? The 8 elements, 8 elements in each. Okay, now the fourth and the fifth period. Okay, the fourth and fifth period, they have 18 elements, 18 elements in each. And the last thing that we have studied, the sixth and seventh period, the sixth and the seventh period. Okay, the sixth and the seventh period, they have what? They have 32 elements in each. So we have found, now just going to make the total. 2 in the first, then 8 and 8, 8, then plus 8, then plus 18, and then plus 18, and then plus 32, and then plus 32. Just open your calculator here. Now 2 and 2 plus 4, 4 and 2 and 8 10, and 10 and 8 18. So 18, 18, 18. So we have 3 18s. 18 multiplied by 3, that is equal to 54. 54 and plus 64. So 64 here. So we have 118 elements. You were saying 116. Now the periodic table has been completed now, because all of the periods have been filled Got it? Is that clear? Ibrahim, are you getting my voice?
I have a question.
Yes.
So in the seventh period, the
Ibrahim, I'm not getting your voice. Can you please write down the things in your chat box?
no, sir. No, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So my question was, so the seventh period, each element will have seven shells.
Okay. Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Can I have
Definitely.
more than seven or only seven?
Still, we are just researching on it and we are just going to design another modern period table. But there are so many organizations they are working on it, and you know that in the science, anything which is presented in the book, it keeps the logical and mathematical and experimental proofs.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yep.
So the first shell, the first shell, I'm writing first shell is equal to two elements and all of the thing. Oh, sorry, first shell. The first period, that is equal to, okay. So my dear student, now this is about the horizontal periods. We have not discussed the rows, or we have not discussed the columns. Now in our tomorrow class we will discuss about the columns. We will discuss about the column. Got it? These are the main points that you need to understand. The horizontal rows which are moving from left hand side to right hand side, they have the 7 periods of the periodic table. The first period keep the 2 elements, the second and third they keep 8 and 8 elements in each, fourth and fifth period they keep 18 elements, and the sixth and seventh period they keep 32 and 32 elements. Okay, our periodic table now completed because all of the periods have been filled. All of the periods have been filled, and on just doing the calculation, 2 plus, just do it again, 2 plus 8 10, 10 and plus 8 18, 18 multiplied by 3 and plus 64. Okay, again we are doing that. We have three values, that is 18 multiplied by 3 and plus 64. So we have 118 elements. The most important thing that you need to understand, last but not least, but I will tell you in the last, across the period the metallic properties, they are going to diminish, they are going to decrease. I'm just going to highlight with the red color. This information is interesting or not, Ibrahim?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, now just look the periodic table like this. This is one of the great tool, and by the help of that thing you can find out a bundle of information. You can find out a bundle of information here. Okay, now the most important thing, now I'm moving here. I'm just going to show my periodic table of my book. I'm just going to show, that is periodic table, page number 166. Now look at here, the most important thing. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen, Ibrahim?
Yes.
Okay, now these are the things that are found on the left hand side, and these are the things that are found on the right hand side. Now these elements like lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, they are found on the left hand side. Beryllium, they are on the left hand side. It means they are highly reactive metals. So the reactivity of the metal, it also decreases, and the reactivity of the non-metals, it also increases from left hand side to right hand side. Like we have fluorine. and we have oxygen. Oxygen is less reactive and fluorine is more reactive. We have lithium and beryllium. Lithium is more reactive and beryllium is less reactive. So
Yeah.
the one more information that you have found from the periodic table here, we know that across the period, across the period, now across the period, the metallic properties they are going to decrease and non-metallic properties are going to increase. So what do you mean by that? Metals are found on left hand side of the periodic table and non-metals are found on the right hand side of the periodic table. There are so many informations are there, but you need to understand metals are found on the left hand side of the periodic table, and the non-metals, when you talk about the non-metals they are found on the right hand side of the periodic table. Are you getting my point? The metals are found on the left hand side and the non-metals are found on the right hand side. The most important, in between metals and non-metals, metalloids are found.
Yes.
Okay, this is another information. In between metals and non-metals, metalloids are placed in the periodic table. Okay, I have told you that all of the elements they are organized in periodic table, and there are three type of elements: metals, non-metals and metalloids. Metalloids mean they are also called the poor metals or less reactive metals. I'm just going to highlight it here. So the most important point that we are missing in the class, the most important point, from left hand side to right hand side, metallic reactivity decreases. Metallic reactivity decreases. For example, lithium is, for example, I'm just going to mention here the two metals here. Let's suppose this one. We have sodium as well as we have aluminium, and we are moving from this side to this side. So aluminium is less reactive than magnesium and sodium, and magnesium is less reactive than sodium. So it means we have most reactive elements on the left hand side and we have most reactive non-metals on the right hand side. So we are just going to have, we can say that the reactivity from left hand side to right hand side of the metallic reactivity decreases. Means if you have two things, like you have lithium as well as you have aluminium, now which substance will react with the things? Okay, I'm just going to highlight here. For example, aluminium is less reactive than sodium. Got it? I'm just going to I'm just going to show one example here. For example, if you have three things, you have lithium, you have aluminium, and you have chlorine. Okay, you have chlorine. So which substance will react with the chlorine? Definitely lithium will form or make with the lithium chloride. Okay, so we have two atoms or two moles of lithium, we have 2 moles of aluminum, and we have what? We have chlorine molecule, because chlorine is a diatomic substance. Okay, what will happen? But the lithium will react with chlorine, but what about aluminum? Aluminum will not react. Why? Because aluminum is less reactive than lithium. The same thing will happen. The same thing will happen when we moving from left hand side to right hand side. So what will happen in that case? The same thing will happen in the non-metals. The same thing will happen in the non-metals. Like, I'm just going to mention here. From left hand side to right hand side, the non-metallic properties. The non-metallic reactivity increases. Okay, let's suppose I'm moving again towards this side. Now we have phosphorus as well as we have chlorine, or we have sulfur as well as we have chlorine, or we have phosphorus. Okay, now I'm not talking about this one, the last thing. I'm just talking about phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. So chlorine is more reactive as compared to phosphorus and sulfur. So when we are moving from left hand side to right hand side, the non-metals, their reactivity is increasing, but when we are moving from left to right hand side, the metallic reactivity will decrease. Okay, I'm just going to mention the example here. You will get the idea. For example, you have, let's suppose you have sulfur as well as you have chlorine. Okay, you have sulfur and you have chlorine, and we have what? We have hydrogen. We have hydrogen. Let's suppose. Now what will happen? Which element will react with hydrogen? Okay, the chlorine will react with hydrogen and it will form what? It will form HCl, and the sulfur will be remain here. So these things about the periodic table, and we have studied about what? We have studied about the reactivity nature, and we have just studied about the horizontal rows, which are called periods. Okay, inshallah. So you have one of the off tomorrow, because you had many classes just because of your exam. If you are willing, so we can arrange the class tomorrow also.
Okay, so it depends because I have to go somewhere.
Okay,
If
okay,
you
that's
don't
good.
go, then I'll come.
Okay, okay, okay. So just note down these things. I'm just going to share material on your WhatsApp group also. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is all about me and
Thank
the
you.
periodic table. I'm just going to upload that video on my YouTube channel. For revision, you may also get the things from that side. Thank you very much. Okay, it's Allah Hafiz.
Yeah.